And welcome back to Hollowponds Solo Sagas, where we are continuing to play a multitude of solo role-playing games. And today's game of choice is Alien. So we return to Alien. This is our 11th episode of our Alien solo campaign, which is part 4 of Act 1 of Chariot of the Gods. Thank you very much for returning. Be a subscriber. If you have not yet subscribed, please may I encourage you to hit the subscription down the bottom. I was watching a YouTube creator video, and apparently the join button may highlight and go all glowy if I say thank you very much to our members of the Adventurers Guild. If you would like to join the membership, there's a button somewhere, and apparently it glows because it hears me say those words and it will glow, which is quite cool. If that's done that, that's cool. Any other ways you'd like to support, I would be more than grateful to accept. We have various different ways. There's coffee thank yous, there's the super thanks, there's joining, and various things that are going on. Anyway, so Alien. We are playing through Chariot of the Gods Alien. What happened last time? Last time was quite bizarre because I started reading out, because as we're playing through, and as I've said before, I don't read ahead, so as I can play this solo and I can have some surprises. I only read ahead every now and then as I'm doing stuff, and so the read out text that I began reading out last, I hadn't read that before, and I was quite like, oh okay. So what happened? Recap. Lister and Harrison have gone down to change the air filters, so the air filters on the Kronos are functioning properly. In the process of doing so, they encountered some strange little egg type things that had been blocking the filters, which they cleaned out. During that process of doing that, Harrison got too close to the moats, breathed them in, and Harrison is now infected. So Harrison has the neomorph infection, which takes a shift to go from stage 1 into stage 2 of the infection. Here we go, neomorphs. We then have Cat, and so we have the neomorph egg sacs, and then we have the moats, and then Harrison will become infected, and then a bloodburster will come out, which coincides with something else that happened. So we then took, Rimmer and Cat back on board, the Red Dwarf. So we took John's, the medic Finn, who were the original crew of the Kronos, with Crichton and Parks from the Red Dwarf, took Professor Cooper, who was acting really sick and not well, down from where they came out of the cryopods, down to the med bay and the med pods within the medical area, because Cooper was not looking very well at all. In the process of getting down there, nothing really weird happened, but once Cooper got up onto one of the med pod tables, and Crichton was making sure that Cooper was okay to put Cooper into the med pod, all of a sudden Cooper started going through all sorts of spasms, frothing. His eyes popped out and a gout of blood splashed all over Crichton, so Crichton's standing there. And as this happened, Finn and Johns would have backed up against the wall, and as they back up, there was a crack sound, and a small, thin, spindly hand pushed through Cooper's eye, causing his face to crack open, and the neomorph emerged, or the bloodburster emerging from the front of his, basically cracking open his face, causing his face to this. If you know, do feel free to skip forwards. Causing his face to crack open, and then this thing flop out. That noise is on purpose. I'll do it again. Flop out and hit the floor with a wet. Now at this stage, everybody has just frozen, and that's where we stopped. So I was thinking, as just before I started, should I then do that and then say, and we'll pick up the action with Lister and Harrison? Well, not really, because if this was a TV show and someone did that, everyone would be furious. So everyone stepped back. There's been this freeze as everyone's just shocked as this thing on the floor sort of starts to emerge itself. Now, I guess we'd do initiatives. So what we will have is it has fallen to the floor with its noise, the flop sound, it's covered in a amniotic type sac. This thin amniotic film covers its body as it sort of slowly is laying on the ground, the film surrounding it, and it begins to emerge from the film. It's a strange, pale-skinned, four-legged creature covered in a thick, spiked spine, which is what it helped cut its way out of the front of Professor Cooper's face. It seems to be trying to struggle to get up onto all fours and move as it's beginning to pull the amniotic fibre sac over it and making strange, shrieky, guttural noises. So we need to have initiative. It has a speed of 3, giving it 3 initiative cards, and it has a health of 2. It is going to take, it says, it takes a few turns and the bloodburster will move, so it will be growing as they're watching it, so a few turns and it will move to a juvenile stage. So at the moment it's about 1/3 of a metre big, so about 30 centimetres in size. So it's about a foot in size, which is, you know, basically head size. It's pushed its way through and it's growing as it's hit the ground. You can see it's instantly starting to grow. So we will say it's a D3 plus 1 rounds. So it will only take 2 rounds. So 2 rounds, 2 turns of combat. It says turn, so what's a turn? A turn is 5 to 10 minutes. A round is 10 seconds. So after a few turns, the bloodburster enters. All right, so it'll be a handful of rounds of combat. If it takes any damage, it's going to leg it. But its first action will be attempting to fly into a savage rage and attack any living creatures it encounters. So we've got these people surrounded. So we'll do its initiative first. So the Neomorph goes on a nice, a 1, a 6, and a 4. Crichton on a 7. Parks on a 9. Johns on a 5. And Finn on a 3. Okay, we are going to put them, so it says med pods are here. So there's these doors, that's where Johns and Finn backed up to. Parks is standing in front of that door. Crichton is right next to the med bed. Oh, sorry about that, my cuticles are awful. Parks is right next to the med bed pods, which are in the middle of the room where Cooper was, and it's fallen into the floor in the middle of the room. So to get out of the doorways, we also have ventilation shafts here. It could head across the ventilation shaft possibly, but the first thing it's going to do is tear into the most living thing next to it. And now we've got living. There was a whole discussion on the Facebook forum about would it go for a synthetic. I think it wouldn't, because it can't, like, synthetic isn't living. It's not producing heat. It's not producing a lot of things. It might produce, if the synthetic attacks it would attack the synthetic, but I don't think it would prioritize attacking synthetic because it can't be contaminated, which means that it's not there to clean up. So it is going to go for Parks in its first instance. But let's order these and then we'll go through initiatives. So we have first on top of the stack is the Neomorph. The Neomorph, it takes this round to pull itself free of the amniotic this turn to amniotic sac. It takes 1 round, so to 1 round, that would be the well, no, this action within this to pulling itself from the amniotic sac. Then we have Finn. I think Finn is going to open up that door and move into the corridor. So Finn is in corridor. Oh, actually, let's make them as they come round. We'll make Finn make a panic roll and see if Finn does go into that corridor or Finn sort of freaks out. I should have done their characters, but I don't know if they're going to survive. I'm going to track Finn's stress. Everyone is going to take 1 stress for this. So Finn takes 1 stress, John takes 1 stress, Parks takes 1 stress as this thing pops out. Then I'm going to do them all, let's make them all do empathy, see if they freak out. Basically, we're rolling empathy. They need to... Oh no, let's just do stress. We'll just do a stress roll. If it comes up a neomorph for he's got 1 stress, comes up a neomorph, then he freezes. No, he's fine. Parks, fine. Johns, fine. They all don't freeze, even though this thing... Oh, that sounds unnatural. Anyway, they didn't come up. 1 in 6 chance they didn't come up. So Finn is going to attempt to exit the room and then go into the corridor. Basically, leave this room. He's not got anything that will help. So talent, compassion. Question: get out of this mess alive, no matter what the cost or what lies you need to tell. Right. So Finn is going to leave. Finn's buddy was Cooper. Finn is going to... So Finn would probably get an additional... No. So Finn just leaves the room and goes into the corridor. So Finn exits the room, goes into the corridor. Neomorph again. So we said that it was... Well, I was only going to give it like a round to do stuff. So it hashes out of the amniotic sac. It's going to flail around and it is going to go for Parks, who stands first in front of it. It is going to do a bloodburster attack. 3, escape. Oh, okay. With a snarl, the bloodburster flees, moving 2 zones away in a single action into the nearest air duct if possible. As soon as the PCs lose line of sight, combat ends and stealth mode ensues. After D6 turn, the bloodburster grows into a juvenile neomorph and starts stalking the PCs. Oh, all right. So because it's small and it's fragile, its attack is it's going to run. So it brushes across and attempts to plough its way through the air duct on this side here. So it dashes across to here and bursts into the air duct panelling and smashes its way into the air duct, and they hear it skittering around and moving, and it starts to move off. Okay, and that I guess finishes that combat. Okay, so Finn is in the door in the hallway. Johns is against the wall, a hand on pistol. Parks has turned to point to that. Who comes next? Johns. Johns would have drawn pistol. Neomorph is then again Crichton, and then Parks the last. Okay, so he's dashed over. Parks. Let's make Parks make a wits roll to see if Parks has actually encountered anything like this before, which is a 3 for wits, 1 for stress. Yes. Okay, Parks is going to say, maybe Parks has read them. Is this new though? This would be new, that this would be close to something. So maybe with that, but Parks knows it's gone into the air ducts. Okay, Parks will say, well, I'm going to, this is an example of doing it third person. Parks will say, it's going to start stalking us. It's going to start stalking us. We need to get back up and get with the others and stay together. And then, so what have we got on mandatory? Mother of all migraines. Aggressive infant metamorph immediately attacks the nearest PC. All PCs present make an immediate panic roll. We did that. Aggressive, the instant immediately attacks, well, it did an attack which was run away. As soon as it suffers any damage or when the signature attack list so indicates the bloodburster flees to the nearest air duct, it did it. As it makes its escape, it rapidly grows, returning after just a few turns to stalk the PCs in the fully grown neomorph. Place out using the rules for stealth mode. Any PCs who are killed can be... Okay. All right. So that is that part. So basically what we've got is Parks is going to say, all right, because that's what he'd say, wouldn't he? He'd go, no. We need to get back up. Now, we already checked these rooms, didn't we? We've got the med pod room we checked, which is on B, and the med labs we checked. Med pods, broken med pods working. Yep, we checked that. There was 2 med kits somewhere. I think we got those. Meds and drugs, 4 personal med kits, surgical instruments, and D6 doses each of... Okay, I think they're going to start to leave here. As they're leaving, Crichton might do a search of the room, just as they're sort of like... So Crichton, in being a synthetic, is going to, as they're sort of writing themselves, Parks is panicking, saying, we got to go back up. Parks is going to attempt to make a command roll, and if he fails that, which is a 2 and a 1, if he fails it, so whilst he's doing this, Crichton will do a search. I'll do a search roll for Crichton. No, so he'll push it because he's trying to get everyone to listen to him, and he's trying to strike his authority as being a dog catcher and with a pulse rifle. Oh, nice, 2 hits. Okay, and so people start to listen to him. That's where he's going to be saying, look, We need to get stuff together. We need to get from here and get back upstairs. What did Cooper have on him? Anything? Cooper have anything on him that they will, not that any of them will want to go near the body. He's got a personal data tablet, but they're not even going to go near the body. Though we might have, part of what Crichton will do, is Crichton's going to do, I'm going to have Crichton make a roll for, let's do him a survival roll. Survival roll will be him attempting to find stuff that's useful. So if he makes this survival roll, we'll say he's found that medical equipment that I just listed. So 4 med kits, surgical instruments, D6 doses of Never Sleep, hydration and Nepro leave. He'll find those. No, so he doesn't find any of the medical stuff. We'll give 2 med kits because they'll be easy to find, but he doesn't find any of the drugs. And we'll give him another survival roll to see if he can get that tablet off of Cooper's body. Yes, so he managed to get the Cooper's tablet, which means that Crichton is moving towards his personal agenda of getting data about what's happening here to be able to take back to Bionational Corporation to be able to then fulfill his personal criteria. That's shocking. Because of that shock and that screaming, we can say that Rimmer is asking to be updated, and Parks will tell him, stop bothering me, I'm trying to keep these people alive, and say what's going on. Kat is going to be saying, we really need to leave. Crichton, actually, where's Lister? Lister is, I'm going to make Lister is going to make a medical aid roll, which he hasn't got any of. Lister's really stressed at the moment, because he's listening to what's going on, and Harrison might be looking a bit weird. Harrison gets 2 hits. Harrison isn't looking well, so they're doing the work and Harrison isn't looking well and has started to cough. And Lister's a bit worried because there's a lot of dust in here and he doesn't know what's in the dust. We will have, so they've all done that, so they will then go back up. So what we've got, how do we transition to Act 2? Act 2 starts off having defeated the Neomorph. Okay. Or still being stalked by it. The PCs get a chance to catch their breath and start planning their way. Okay, all right. And then we've got one. Okay, so we'll go through these, and I know what happens in the next, possible weird thing. No. Okay, so that's them starting to make their way back across, and they're going to go slow, or possibly what is down here. We've got the science lab. Science lab might help. So what Parks will want is Parks is going to want this motion tracker working again. The motion tracker isn't working at the moment. So Parks will ask Crichton, can Crichton fix the motion tracker? Now Crichton might be able to fix the motion tracker. But Crichton will maybe want to have a look and see what's in the science labs, because that might help Crichton. And I don't know what's in the science labs. That might help Crichton with Crichton's personal agenda. Where are we? Main deck B, Science Lab 1. So that's Science Lab 2. Science Lab 2, okay. That might help Crichton. So Crichton might take advantage of this and say, if we go to the science labs, I should have the equipment to fix the motion tracker. If you can protect us whilst we're in there, whilst I'm fixing it, that should be able to help us. And we can say it will take a couple of turns, and that's when we might have the Neomorph will re-attack. So they get to move 2 turns, so they move 2 to come out to here. Where's our little marker? The Neomorph is still out there somewhere. The Neomorph is growing at the moment. Where's the Dorian? Dorian is there. So the 2 turn, so 1 turn will get them there, and they're moving slowly. Finn and Johns may be wanting to go upstairs and get out. Let's make them both make an empathy roll and see if they just want to split. Johns has an empathy of 4. Finn has an empathy of 5. Are they going to want to? And they're both. So we've got 4 for Johns, and Johns has 1 stress at the moment. Johns is okay to stay. Finn also has 1 stress. So both of them have got the empathy to just stay together. They're not going to go self-preservation and just want to get out. So they're coming to the corridor, which would be another roll. Okay, cool. As that comes there, we now want to make sure that, because Lister and Rimmer would be starting to think it's time to get out of here. So maybe because of that, Lister has started saying, everybody get back to, if you get back, we've got the crew, get back on board the Red Dwarf and we can leave. Now at that point, now what we've got is, there is an event here called T minus 10 minutes, which can occur in Act 1 or Act 2. Now what this is a trigger is if the players decide to instigate leaving because of the Red Dwarf. Now after all this stuff, it might make sense, depart Red Dwarf with the Red Dwarf and leave. And so what we then trigger is that the Red Dwarf is going to instigate. So what do we have here? If the PCs want to leave the Kronos, triggers the destruction of the Montreux under Special Order 966 from... So basically, the mother has been... So like we said from the first bit, that derelict they came across with the salvaging ship had the mother, the AI, had done something to kill the crew because Wayland Yutani can control AIs from a distance. The Wayland Yutani they've been there long enough, and maybe the AI is starting to detect people wanting to leave. I think they would. I think the player, if there was players, they would. I just haven't said it because I know, because I can read ahead enough to know this happens. That the Red Dwarf has decided to instigate a self-destruct mechanism to then destroy itself, which in the books, the Red Dwarf actually, I don't know if you've read any of the Red Dwarf books, in the books, and also I think in part of the TV series, the Red Dwarf gets lost. The nanobots tear the Red Dwarf apart. So they might lose the Red Dwarf, basically is what I'm saying. The Red Dwarf starts, the mother, he begins to say, displacement drive malfunction, cascade failure imminent. Fusion reactor overloading in T minus 10 minutes. This is where Kat and Crichton, who is on board, will instantly start getting stressed and go, what? Rimmer and Kat, who are on board, would start to go, what? How long does this take to go? Oh, 10 minutes, as you said, so that's not a shift. So Harrison was, because the thing that I'm thinking is, if they go on board, Harrison could start to convert into whatever Harrison goes into, the next stage of Harrison's thing, within that time, which would then throw quite a lot in at the same time. So the T minus 10 minutes starts to kick off. So Rimmer and Kat are going to have, this is as we're getting into, we've come through here to here, we're not even in the science lab part yet, and that starts happening. So we'll make, panic roll, isn't it? I did the panic roll run. Kat needs to make a panic roll, which is 4. Kat is fine. Rimmer has 4 at the moment. Rimmer has 5 actually, 5, 6, 7. So Rimmer starts to twitch, which puts Rimmer and Kat's back up. Rimmer starts to say, we need to get off of here. Kat isn't happy getting off because the oxygen down below, but then Kat would want to leave. Now, was Rimmer going to be intelligent enough to say that if this blows up next to them, they're done anyway? So let's make, Kat might be able to do that because Kat has a good comm-tech. So Kat's got 5 for wits, 4 for comm-tech, 3 stress at the moment. Can Kat come up with an idea? So Kat is saying, if this blows here, we're all done for. This is going to destroy the Kronos. And so with that, Kat we passed that one. Though Kat is still nervous and twitching, or was that Rimmer who found that? They're both starting to panic, so they would then, the stuff is still on board. They've got the samples, because the samples are still on board. They would need to get those samples. Crichton's intelligent enough to say that they need to, before going into the science lab, are they going to have to quickly go back up? Crichton has got a wits of 3, observation of 3. No, it's not a really observation. Can Crichton think of? Yes, Crichton's going to say, what would he be? Private parks? Private parks. I'd like to point out that you have samples that you retrieved from the Nereus ancient research vessel on board the Red Dwarf. possibly we should take those from the red dwarf onto the Kronos before the red dwarf destroys itself. Parks, so they're all still in this corridor. So they've just got to this junction and then a corridor. Okay, we need, where was those suits? The suits are here with the EVA suits, or we need to come up and then get back to here and then exit to then come up. Oh, and the neomorph could, okay, all right. So, I wonder if Ava's still there. So, we've got, we've had this junction way here. We now need everyone to decide what they're going to do next. They need to leave the red dwarf. The red dwarf might blow up. So if the red dwarf is going to blow up, they need to pilot the red dwarf. The pilot can set them on the red dwarf's autopilot and then get off. All right, so this says to use the ancient daisy, which is like a little emergency vehicle, to leave the red dwarf, but I can't see why you couldn't instruct the mother to then instigate a pre-programmed course. So we would have them do a piloting role to then get the red dwarf to leave properly. The red dwarf would then separate, so we would need Harris and Rimmer. No, Harris and Lister need to separate the red dwarf, as we've got Rimmer and Crichton, who are our two pilots, need to program the red dwarf to leave, and then we would get Cat, Johns, and everybody else are going to need to get everything off of the red dwarf, so as we get the samples back on the Kronos, then they're going to need to repair the Kronos. So let's write this stuff down so I forget. So we're going to have, so there's several things that we need to do because the red dwarf is about to blow up. So the red dwarf's about to blow up, so we need the separated, which is Harris and Lister. Now, of course, when that's finished, we've got Harris, who is going to turn into whatever it is Harris is turned into. We then have Rimmer and Crichton need to do the piloting to make sure that the autopilot is set and then it can fly off. We then will have Parks and the crew and the Kronos crew need to move the samples back, or that's the crew doing that, and then Parks is running security. And then with all of this, we have a neomorph who is running around and is about to attack. So probably will attack if it's a turns. It will attack by the time they get up and they come to the junction and come through. It will then come out because it's been tracking them. But we want Parks, once the motion tracker fixed, so he can see stuff coming. But that's going to take time, and time that they don't have. All right, so they're in a bit of a difficult situation here. They've got multiple things all kicked off all at once. We've got sirens are starting to go off on board the Red Dwarf, which is starting to set Rimmer and Cat are starting to panic because they've got sirens going off there. We've got Parks here, who's been instructed to bring those samples onto here, so the samples need to get back over to here. And also, if the Red Dwarf detonates, the Kronos is going to go up, and that's not going to be very good for anyone. But we've also got, they all know that there's this neomorph running around, so what are they going to do first? Well, first off, they need to make sure that the piloting can get done. So Parks is going to try and tell Rimmer to set the piloting system going. Now, Rimmer isn't as good a pilot as Crichton, but Rimmer is going to start trying to do that. And Cat is being told, and Cat will also want to do this because of being culprit. Cat is going to want to go across and start prepping the samples. Maybe Cat can bring the egg things over, but Cat's not going to really want to do that without an EVA suit. Cat's going to be really worried about going on board without an EVA suit, with the air being the way it is. Maybe the first thing, because that would be coming down here and then going across to get an EVA suit. So maybe Cat will bring the first pod over, drop it, and then go down and try and come and get an EVA suit, which would be a bit worrying because Cat's all on his own. All right, Rimmer won't hand over his pistol. So let's start going first. So we'll have Rimmer is first off. Rimmer is going to, we'll go through these all in order and we'll work out what everyone's doing. So Rimmer is going to instantly go over to the piloting station, plump himself down, and Rimmer's going to start. Rimmer's on 6 stress at the moment. Rimmer is going to start trying to get the Red Dwarf's autopiloting system to comply and know what he's doing. Now, Rimmer might absolutely freeze and have to wait for Chariot to come and inject Rimmer with one of the last bits of the shots. So Rimmer is -2 on this actually, because it's a -2 roll. So giving Rimmer 4 dice, because Rimmer's piloting is 2. Oh, good lad. All right, so it's going to take a while, but Rimmer actually gets that starting to go. So we'll give Rimmer, for that, we'll say it needs 3 successes. So 2 successes are down. 1 more success is needed to get this to actually to set properly. So to set course to go off far enough that if it detonates, then they're going to need to get stuff back over. Lister's going to want his guitar to come over. So that's Rimmer. So Rimmer's doing that. Then we've got Cat. Cat is going to go into... Cat's going to grab... he's wearing his vintage Rolex. Cat is going to... They wouldn't have any weapons. There's no kit. Cat will go over to the hold and grab the 2 eggs and attempt to move over. So that's just Cat going over, doing that at the moment. Lister, so they've started doing the air filtration. This now is taking priority. Lister and Harrison are going to make their way out of, let's see, if we say this is, they're going to run, so 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 turn, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 turns to get to this junction and get, because this is the junction, this is the junction how we get back to the Red Dwarf, and this is where, so Harrison and Lister are going to come out, and that's probably about it for this sort of stage. And then they're going to come around and we'll see where I reckon they'll come up to about here, or this door would open as they're coming to it. So all of them are going to be around this area at the same time, and we'll see whether we'll roll for the Neomorph. So everyone will zone. If the Neomorph rolls, the Neomorph will attack. So Lister and Harrison are around here. Why at the moment, every time I'm doing a solo game, everyone splits into about 1,000 factions. Right, now we've got Crichton and Parks. I haven't done I need to do the character sheets for the Kronos' crew. So these lot were standing here as we rolled that. That means they've done their conversation all over the radios with each other. They'll come back into this junction, and they're going to be able to come up to the junction, and maybe they're in this cryo room. So they've come into the cryo room where Reed, who is, let's make a roll for Reed and see if Reed's stamina. Reed is the military officer, and then there is also, but they don't know this is going on because they're not connected to the radio to know this. So we've got Reed and Clayton. Clayton, what's Clayton's personal agenda? Bring both Finn and a sample of the strap back to the Wayland Newtonian for a nice fat paycheck, no matter who you need to kill to get there. Okay, so Clayton wants to get the stuff and get off. So Clayton is there, maybe looking after Reed, because Reed is the Marine, the hardcore. So Clayton was okay. Reed failed his stamina roll. So Reed has a strength of 5 and no stamina. Let's see if Reed has come back to his conscious. Yeah, so Reed's feeling all right now. Reed's wondering where his shotgun's gone, because his shotgun's gone. He's got no weapon anymore. So Reed would be, as they come through the doors into the cryo, Reed is like, where's my stuff gone? Johns is going to say Cooper was infected and Cooper's dead. Clayton is going to be annoyed. Finn is still alive, so Clayton seems happy. Finn is saying, and there's worse, that's where Parks will chip in and be going, look, something's happened on board our ship which is connected. It's going to self-destruct. We need to get that ship disconnected and get it away from here, otherwise we're all dead. This is where Clayton and Reed will start to panic. Parks will say, Parks is going to attempt to make a command roll, which he hasn't got. After this, I didn't give XP between this, but I will give XP at the end of this session. I'm writing myself a note. I write XP in big letters on the notebook. And then Parks is going to attempt to do, what's Parks? Parks has got 2 stress. Parks is going to try and use command to basically say, we've got to get off of it. If he fails, then Crichton will do it. No, he gets a hit. Okay, that's good enough. So Parks is saying, we've got to get off of here, and lays it all out in a very commanding, very even voice. Johns is just backing Parks up the whole time, because Johns doesn't want to be responsible for any of these decisions. He's just backing Parks up. He's saying, look, just listen to what the Marini's got to say. He knows what he's doing. He's dealt with stuff like this before. I mean, no one else is there to look sort of like, really? And so they're in here having this conversation and convincing. So then Reed and Clayton would be coming along to help get the stuff off. And Clayton would be quite pleased because there's more samples of stuff for Clayton to take back to Wayland and get credit for. So what have we got here then? So we've got Reed, Clayton, Johns, Finn, Parks and Crichton. So the 6 of them are trying to bundle down this bit here and come over here. And that is circling back to Rimmer, who's attempting to code in, and so that would be first bit. So the next bit would be, so we could call that a turn, 10 minutes as we've come 2 areas. So then we've got Rimmer is going to be trying to do his second set of piloting rolls, because he did so well on the first lot, which is 4, 2 for piloting, drop 2 for piloting, and then 6 stress dice, stress dice. Okay, he's the panic gets to him. He's definitely done for here. So 6 plus 4 is 10. Freeze. You're frozen by fear or stress for 1 round, losing your next line action. Your stress level and the stress level of all friendly PCs in short range to you increases by 1. So Rimmer is in the piloting seat on the bridge of the Red Dwarf by himself. Everybody thinks Rimmer is doing what he's supposed to be doing, but the stress of trying to get the piloting computer to accept the instructions and the orders to autopilot to the distance by itself has just overwhelmed Rimmer's mind. Rimmer thinks he's trying to work out, he's just stuck on a calculation, and he's just going over that calculation in his head, and he cannot come to an answer, and he's redoing it, and he's redoing it, and he's redoing it, and he's trying to get it to work itself out, and it's just not coming. The numbers are not forming the way Rimmer thinks they're supposed to, and Rimmer is just frozen at this problem of trying to get the autocomputer to actually function properly. Cat has now come across, has now come from the hold back up, and is probably near the entrance of the umbilical, which is coming across the area, but not coming across the umbilical, but the entrance, and standing at the entrance. Let's make Cat make, I don't know, what would it be? An empathy roll? Just 4 dice empathy. Has Cat got the guts to go across this thing without a suit on, where basically the umbilical could burst and he could be exposed to air? Yeah, he has. Okay. So he's standing there ready. So he's not going to get to go across, but he's thinking, oh, I've got to do this. I've got to go. So he's got one of the pods. Let's give him a strength roll. He's got strength. If he's got rolls a hit on this, he's only got 2 dice. Then he could have carried both, but otherwise he can only carry 1. Sorry, they can only carry 1. No, they're carrying both. So Cat has both of those eggs in the clear cases with little bits on that are looking quite fleshy and still functional. Now we've got Lister and Harrison. Lister and Harrison come out of this, passing the tools to each other. Harrison is starting to look, let's give Lister another medical aid roll. All right, we'll give the stress, because if this is a hit and stressful, then Lister might start to panic that she's looking really sick now. Okay, so Lister sees that she is looking really sick, potentially, but we've got a 4. 4 and 4 is 8. Trembling, you start to tremble uncontrollably with all skill rolls. So trembling, skill, so we've got -2 agility rolls. -2 agility rolls for until the panic stops. Okay, so still succeeds. So Lister starts to panic, when he's seeing that Harrison is not looking well. There's these strange veins starting to form around, particularly around the nasal passages and around her eyes. Her eyes are looking a bit bloodshot, and she's looking very, very shaky on her feet as she gets out of this air duct here and starts to sort of wobbly pick up her toolkit and move this way, going, look, we've got to get the umbilical disconnected. If it won't allow itself to leave if it's connected onto us, because it will tear us apart. So she's looking shaky and is looking really rough as we head up this way. So they exit, they're heading, and so they would go 1, 2. So they're coming to this area. So Lister and Harrison are in here. Harrison is being helped by Lister to get to this part here. Then we have our team of 6 or 7 people. I don't know, maybe will they all want to do that, or are they going to want to do something? Maybe Johns is going to say, look, if Reed is able to help, because Reed being security cover, Johns might give Reed his handgun and say, we need to go to the mother and try and see if what we can do to help here, as the rest of them are going to want to come up, but they're all going to basically come up this way. So we would go, they're moving a bit faster, so they would bump into Lister and Harrison up here. So they'd move over there. What can we have them? So Reed is going to get a bit annoyed that Lister has his shotgun. Lister, who is helping Harrison, is probably not going to put up much of it as Reed just grabs it. And then we would have Crichton and Finn are now with them. And so let's have Crichton and Finn making a rough... Finn's got 1 stress at the moment. So Finn is going to make a medical check roll. Crichton are going to make a medical check roll, looking at Harrison, who's not looking too well at the moment. So Finn might know what it is. If Finn makes the roll, Finn knows what this is. And he's going to worry about it. So 3, 4, 5. Medical aid 3. 1, 2, 3. This is Finn. What? Finn knows what this is. Finn knows what this is big time, and Finn is not happy. And then we'll do Crichton. Crichton would just be knowing if... So Crichton is all the dice +1. Crichton is just knowing if Harrison is looking good or not. 1... no, so just 1. 1 is enough. So Crichton knows that Harrison isn't looking well. Finn knows what this is. Finn knows what this is, and Finn is not happy. And Finn's going, she's infected. When did you get infected? What have you done? Now let's do. So there it's standing there, and that's that. So that would be that turn. This is so that's the next 10 minutes with them staying around, them coming along, then them being checked. So we kick into the next 10 minutes as they're all standing there. Crichton is at the end. Cat is at the entrance about to come across. I think this is where we're going to have the neomorph attack. Oh yeah, because if the neomorph, there's loads of them in this place. They're all going to get torn to shreds. Let's see, what is Lister going to do? So Lister has handed the shotgun because Reed is sort of caught Lister unawares and has handed the shotgun back to Reed. Is Lister going to have the wits with 4 stress? So Lister is being asked what happened. So this is the intelligence, the wits of Lister to sort of put 2 and 2 together and go, it's those things. No, Lister does not have the intelligence to say that. They can be asking Harrison, what did you do? I'm going to give Harrison a wits of... So Harrison has a wits of 3. Harrison has 1 panic dice, but I'm taking 1 off of Harrison because Harrison is not feeling too good. No, neither of them know what this could be. Like they're not linking that because they were slogging away in there with what's happened to Harrison. And we are at this stage, and I think, because we said it would be 2 turns, that was 2 turns. This is where we're in that corridor. The clock is still ticking. 2 turns. 2 turns is, so though it says 10 minutes, we're going to give it, cinematic 10 minutes. With the Red Dwarf. So the Red Dwarf is still counting down. Rimmer has frozen. Cat is standing at the entranceway. just down. So Cat can actually almost hear what's going on down here as they're sort of all in this bit over here. There's who's down there. We've got Reed, Clayton, who is the agent. Then we have Johns, who's the XO. We have Flynn, who's the medic. We have Harrison, who's the salvaging expert. Parks, who's our marine. There's Crichton, and then we've got Lister. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That sounds right. That feels right. Have I forgotten anyone? Have I forgotten anyone? I think so. And we've probably got a neomorph. So let's say the neomorph has come around. Is coming out of here. The motion tracker's no good to us because we've not got that up. Who's got a weapon? Reed now has the shotgun. Clayton doesn't. John has pistol. Finn doesn't. Harrison had a pistol. Parks has pulse and a pistol. Crichton doesn't. Lister has nothing either. Though Lister could grab Parks' pistol if need be. They're standing in the corridor. They're all in quite close quarters. They're spread out a bit. And we will say that, and this will be where, because this is the prime time with Red Dwarf about to go down and everything, that the neomorph will emerge from this part here, and is going to basically, so this is now, is this an adult neomorph or is this the juvenile neomorph? But this is basically our last part of Act 1, and then we'll do this, and then next session we'll start Act 2 as a fully grown neomorph. So this is an adult neomorph. Play this out using the rules for stealth. Okay, all right. So they've come along. They're making a lot of noise here because there's an emergency going down. Harrison is looking sick. If this goes on, we might do. If Harrison, we'll work out what Harrison does, and we'll do that at the beginning of Act 2. So as soon as they finish this combat, they might roll straight into Harrison starting to choke up and go into whatever. So the neomorph, they're standing around. Reed's grabbed his shotgun going, what have you got this for? So Reed doesn't have the reloads for the shotgun. Lister has the reloads for the shotgun. Parks is going, look, can we stop arguing? We've got to get out of here. Finn and Crichton are looking at Harrison and saying, this isn't right. Finn's going, she's infected. We need to get her into isolation as soon as possible. Johns is just trying to get everyone, is trying to understand what's going on. And the neomorph is trying to rip everyone apart. Who comes through? Here. And then charges straight into them. So, we have Reed is on no stress at the moment and 5 health. Clayton, no stress at the moment and 2 health. Johns, 2 stress, 4 health. Finn, 2 stress, 2 health. The neomorph, 6 health. The neomorph gets 2 attacks. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got 8 people in this room. We've got 10 initiative cards. We're going to give everyone an initiative and see what everybody does. So we'll start with the neomorph, who has 2 goes. Neomorph goes on a 7 and the neomorph goes on a 10. So the neomorph climbs out, but we'll let the neomorph go first on both of those, or at least neomorph will get 1 attack as it bursts through and attacks someone because it surprised them. Then we'll go down the line. So we'll go Reed, goes on an 8, Clayton goes on a 2, not that Clayton gets to do much. Johns goes on a 5, Harrison goes on a 6, Parks goes on a 3, which is useful, Crichton goes on a 9, and finally, and we've got Lister goes on a 4, oh, and Finn as well, and Finn going first. Alright, so the neomorph will burst through the air duct. It will explode open over here. Everyone is basically crowded in this corridor here. It's quite wide, but they're all crowded in the corridor, trying to work out what to do, all arguing the toss, as it were, over what to do next. As the neomorph, adult neomorph, takes advantage of this and bursts through, just wanting to eliminate everything living in this area. A neomorph gets to do its neomorph attacks, which is a D6. It was going to charge in, and it's probably going to do the hiss, boring hiss. A 2, tail slash. The neomorph pivots, slashing its victim with its sharp tail. The victim is attacked using 10 base dice, damage 2. The attack is armor piercing, halving any armor rating. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I really need a D8 for the moment. All right, who's it go for? 2. 1, 2, Clayton. So it charges into Clayton, doing its tail slash. Clayton has no armor. Tail slash, pivots, slashes victim with sharp tail, base 2 damage. One hit. Clayton is going to attempt to dodge, because Clayton will at least give Clayton an attempt to dodge. Dodging is close combat, which Clayton doesn't have. Does Clayton have a pistol? Clayton does have. Clayton's got a pistol. Agility of 3. No stress at the moment. But we will allow Clayton to... Nope. Clayton will push, because otherwise Clayton dies. No. Okay. All right. So the tail it dives out. It spins its tail, doing the tail slash, doing 2 points of damage. Clayton only has 2 hit points. It slices across Clayton's stomach with a sharp, razor-sharp tail. Company agent Laurie Clayton, 42, ruthless all of her life. She has done everything possible to survive up until this point in the corporate world, stands and stares down at her immaculate silk shirt as it splits open at the waist, and a line starts to fade red as her stomach bulges, and she reaches her hand down, dropping the pistol that was in her hand to the floor as her stomach empties across her hands and onto the floor as she drops to her knees and falls to the side. As the Neomorph turns its attention to the rest and everybody. Everybody, I would assume, would get 1 stress from that. I think you get 1 stress from seeing someone's stomach open up. Yep, I'm happy to say that. Stress level. The amount of tension your character is measured in their stress level. It usually starts at 0, increasing during the course of your stress level, increasing by 1, and whenever the following things happen. You push a roll, you do an auto-fire burst, you suffer 1 or more points of damage, you go without sleep, food or water, you perform a coup de grace, a scientist in your team fails to use the analysis talent, a member of your own crew attacks you, a person nearby is revealed to be an android, you encounter certain creatures or locations. Is the same scenario. I reckon seeing someone get 1 shot killed by a Neomorph slicing their stomach open and spilling their stomach contents all over the floor, that increases everyone's stress by 1. Clayton dies. Harrison's stress goes up, as though that matters. Do you need to make a panic roll every time your stress goes up? I think the answer to that question, is yes. But we're not going to do that because that will create a panic cascade, as they say, and that might not be good for us. So that was the Neomorph with its sort of surprise round. We will now go into standard combat with Finn. Finn is going to back away as far as Finn can down this. Maybe Finn is going to attempt to come this way around this. So I'm going to make Finn is going to make a mobility roll. If Finn passes, Finn is going to split around that corner. If Finn fails, Finn is going to slip in stomachs and innards and fall over, which is an agility of 3. Finn has a stress of 3 and a mobility of 1. Finn succeeds. Finn is going to move around that corner and so Finn has moved to short range around the corner. Finn wants to get out of here, so Finn may not participate in the rest of this. We next got number 3, which is Parks. Parks is going to turn and attempt to open fire on the Neomorph, who is standing not that far away from Parks. Parks has got the pulse rifle, which is armor piercing, so instead of 6 dice, it's 3 dice. I'll remember this time. Parks has an agility of 4, range combat of 3, stress dice of 3. Let's use that cheat sheet that someone suggested to use. It's not going to be an aim shot. They are engaged, so he gets -3 because it is in close engaged range. No worries about lighting. Not doing full auto. All right, so we get this. So the -3 is because it's in close engagement range. I believe that's right. Yes. because it's in close range to them, it's harder. We should have done this previously, but I didn't know that. It's harder to actually hit it. So Parks is going to take a bead with the pulse rifle on the Neomorph, which is in front of him, and attempting to maneuver around him, and Parks will do a burst. +1 because it's a pulse rifle. Getting 3 hits. That's pretty cool. It could rip him apart. So 3 hits on the Neomorph, who has 6 health points. It gets to roll 3 armor dice because these are armor piercing rounds. Nothing. So 3 going through, which is 2 damage plus 2. Now what can we do? We can do pin target, switch initiative with target, make target drop weapon armor, make target go prone or be pushed. I think we're just going to chuck +1/+1, so they're doing 4 points of damage against it, which doesn't, which knocks it down to 2 hit points. It might survive this. It may survive this. So it goes down to 2 hit points. It might run away because it's on half health, though we probably don't need it to. Lister. Lister has no weapon at the moment. Lister is going to attempt to get the hell out of the way, maybe dragging Harrison with him, or maybe try and pick up Clayton's pistol that dropped on the floor. Lister is going to do a mobility roll, 3 and a 1, and he's got 5 stress dice. So Lister is going to doing a mobility roll, attempting to pick up the pistol and moving where Finn went. If he fails this, the Neomorph gets an attack. He gets a success. Okay, so he will pick up the pistol and he gets to move to around the corner where Finn went. So Lister has gone around where Finn went. Thus, he is at short range. Johns. Johns is going to try and shoot the Neomorph with his pistol, even though it's running around all over the place. He has an agility of 3. He has a range combat of 2. He has stress of 3. He's at -3 because it's in close up. He gets +2 because it's a pistol. So he's going to attempt to shoot at the Neomorph. He gets 1 hit. This Neomorph is not a lucky Neomorph. He gets 6 armor dice though, because he's a Neomorph. He just needs 1 hit and it's defended. That was a 3, but there's the 1 hit. So the bullets hit it into its skull and bounce off the skull, deadening and hitting lights, knocking some of the lights out, and we see lights burst as the Neomorph is hit. Now we've got Harrison. Harrison has a pistol, but is Harrison going to try and shoot, or will Harrison try and get around the corner and then shoot? Harrison isn't feeling well, so Harrison isn't making good decisions. So we're going to do 3. If Harrison does a success, Harrison will try and move away. Otherwise, Harrison is going to stay where Harrison is. Harrison is definitely wise enough to move away, particularly as Harrison has 4 for agility, 3 for mobility, 2 stress dice, but Harrison is infected and not feeling well, so I'm taking 2 off. Harrison needs to get at least 1 hit. Harrison gets 1 hit, but rolls a panic dice. So in the process of trying to get away, Harrison maintains everything fine, and Harrison maneuvers around the corner with Lister and Finn, so away from this thing. So Harrison puts themselves at short range, which panics Finn, who knows what's going to happen to Harrison. The Neomorph. The Neomorph has not many people to choose from now. There's Reed, Clayton is out, there's Johns, Parks, and it's going to ignore Crichton, so there's 3 of them at the moment to pick from. So the Neomorph will 6. Tail Spike. The Neomorph impels the victim with a razor sharp tail. Roll for the attack using 7 base dice, damage 1. The attack is armor piercing. halving any armor rating. If the attack causes damage, it automatically triggers critical injury 66, killing the victim outright. Okay, so whoever this hits, it kills. We've got Reed, Johns, and Parks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, Reed. So Sergeant Reed gets hit, so that's 7 dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So after slashing Clayton, it turns its tail and darts its tail out as Reed goes next. As Reed is starting to level the shotgun and back against the wall, it levels against Reed, doing 1 hit, which might be enough because Reed doesn't have any armor. Does Reed have armor? Reed has no armor. All right, so Reed is going to get a chance to do a block. Block is a fast action, which means that it's no. Oh no, we don't need to aim, do we? So he's going to get a chance to block, which is an agility of 4, close combat of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1 twice. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1 panic dice because he's got 1 stress at the moment. It had 1 hit. Okay, 1 hit. 1 hit and 1 hit means he blocks it. So he moves his shotgun across his chest. It hits the shotgun and blocking the attack. He will then attempt to shoot it. He will then attempt to shoot it with the shotgun, giving agility of 4, range combat of 3, 1 stress dice. It's in close range, which is a 3. The shotgun gives a plus, I think if I remember rightly, a +2, but it halves. Oh, Lister's got a pulse rifle. I forgot you picked up the pulse rifle. So Lister also has a pulse rifle, but he's still gone into short range. So that's Reed is attempting to shoot it. We get 1 hit, but 1 stress dice. 2, a 3, he contains it, but we get 1 hit. The Neomorph has armor, which I think the shotgun doubles armor. Armor doubled, yep. So that's 12 armor. So we got 1 hit. And 1 more dice. Ooh, otherwise he might have killed the Neomorph. Yep. So the shotgun does 3 points of damage. It had 2 left. All right, now we do have the Neomorph crit table, which Pio very kindly pointed out to me. So Reed opens up his pistol. Oh no, it's now empty. Reed opens up because he rolled that, didn't he? Bursting into the Neomorph, which is in close range. The Neomorph gets a critical hit roll for the Neomorph, which means we roll a d6, and it may not have died. 3, desperate action. The Neomorph is severely wounded and cries out in alien fury. It immediately gets to perform a fast and slow action outside of the normal turn order. Roll a d6. On a 1 to 3, it tries to escape. If it succeeds, it regains half its health. On a 4, 5, 6, it instantly attacks the closest opponent. If it fails to inflict any damage, the creature dies. If it succeeds, it regains 1 point of health. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, it legs it back into the thingy shaft. In 4, 5, 6, it's going to attack probably Clayton. 4, okay, it's going to attempt to attack Clayton. So it's going to do 1 last attack. If it inflicts damage on Clayton, it instantly attacks the closest opponent. If it fails to inflict any damage, it dies. If it succeeds, it gains 1 point of health. It stays alive. Okay, so it's going to attempt to do an attack on Clayton. 5, throat bite. The Neomorph bites the victim's throat. Roll an attack using 8 base dice. Damage 1. If the attack causes damage, it automatically inflicts critical injury. Okay, so it rolls 1, 2, 3. So it dives at Clayton, doing 8 base dice. Doing 3 hits. Okay, it's got 3 hits on Clayton. So Clayton opens his shotgun. His shotgun is now empty. Clayton now needs to do a 4, 1, 2, 3 for close combat. Clayton is going to attempt to block this. blocks 1, which does 2 points of damage going through, which is, so 3 bites, so it does 2 points of damage, which only puts Clayton down to a 3, but it automatically inflicts critical injury 61. Critical injury 61 is the ruptured jugular, which means that it dives at Clayton. Now it's back to 1 hit point. It dives at Clayton, burying its tiny teeth deep into his jugular as he's trying to push it off with the shotgun, as he collapses back against the bulkhead and sliding down, as the neomorph ferociously is making sickening, wet, tearing noises as it rips out the esophagus of Reed, who flails. Luckily, the shotgun is empty. Around, trying to defend himself, as he then expires. We then have Crichton. Crichton, what is Crichton going to do? Crichton, I think, is just going to calmly move round the corner where Lister, Harrison and Finn are, because there's not much Crichton can actually do. So though Crichton won't injure anyone, he isn't going to be able to stop anyone being injured. So he's going to just move around the corner. So we've got Reed. Reed would be making, so Reed and Clayton both should be making death saves, I suppose, which all right, we'll put them back in. I'll put them back in the stack, and we'll make them make death rolls as death saves as that we come round, because though they're not main players yet, so I don't know. Nah, we're just gonna. They're technically NPCs, so they're dead. We will then, because otherwise they should be making death saves. All right, I'll make them make death saves. That sounds fair. They're on death's door anyway. Elliot died, didn't he? That's Crichton. He's moving around the corner. Doesn't have anything to do. The Neomorph now is on the final Neomorph's turn on 1 hit point. The Neomorph is going to roll its attacks. It'll tear, so its face, the whole of its head is covered in red ichor as it turns to then look at, they know they've gone around the corner, so Parks and Johns are still nearby. Harrison, Finn and Lister and Crichton are now at short range around the corner, although it can cover distances pretty fast. It is going to do a 5, which is a throat bite attack. So it will do a throat bite. 1 to 3 is John's, 4, 5, 6 is Parks. 4, 5, 6 is Parks. All right, so it is going to attempt to do a throat bite attack at Parks. So it is going to dive at Parks, base dice of 8, as it dives in at Parks. 2 hits. I've already got 2 written down. So 2 hits as it dives in at Parks. Parks is going to attempt to defend himself. Parks does have close combat, 5 and 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, with 3 stress dice. And Parks does have armor. So what was that? That was 2 hits. Parks has 2 hits. Okay, so it dives in at Parks. Parks moves to the sides as it dives in, slipping on the blood on the floor from both Clayton and Reed. Parks slides his feet and slides back as the Neomorph slams into the side of the bulkhead, and we can denting the coverings, like the drywall, on the edges of the corridor, causing a slime of ichor to smear across the white corridor walls as Parks backpedals and sliding in the blood. So that was would Parks been able to do that? Parks attempted to fire, but Parks didn't actually use his fast action. So Parks could actually block because Parks didn't use his fast action. All Parks did was fired. He didn't move or maneuver or do anything that would cause the use of a fast action. He kind of saved his fast action to block. All right, we are back to the top. Finn, back at number 1. Finn is going to, so Finn is round the corner. Finn has no weapon. Finn will Finn's around. Will Finn keep moving away? Is Finn going to go? So they know where it's connected because they discussed that. Finn is going to start moving basically further away, and Finn's going to go into the airlock, so the junction A1. So Finn is going to move into junction A1, through the doorway and into junction A1. Probably Lister and Crichton is going to say, what are you doing? So Finn, junction A1. Clayton is going to make a stamina roll to see if Clayton dies. We have nothing for stamina, which is just strength, which is 2d6. Clayton dies. We have Parks, who backpedaled across. Parks is going to keep his fast action in case he needs it. He is going to, he's still in engagement range because he hasn't been able to move out of the way. He can move, but if he moves, he's not going to be able to shoot. He's going to be more focused on trying to kill this thing. So Parks is going to use his pulse rifle and attempt to shoot the neomorph, which is already, he thought it was gone. And then he's got 3 for ranged combat, 3 come off, 1 goes back on. He's got 3 for that. We could give him, oh, we'll give them all +1 because Clayton died. So they've all got +1 stress because Clayton dying. Which is John's and Finn as well. And then Parks is going to attempt to shoot at, is that right? 2 hits, but he's got a panic roll, which has got a panic of 4, 5, 6. He keeps it together and he gets 2 hits again on the neomorph. Now the neomorph does have armor, it is armor piercing round, so instead of being 6, it's 3 armor dice. Doing 1, so 1 hit goes through. The pulse rifle has a damage of 2. The neomorph only had 1 hit point left, so it goes down again. Now I don't know how many times it gets to roll on the critical hit table. Okay, it gets to roll again, and so every time. So now it's broken again. 5, torn apart, instant death. And the neomorph is torn apart or crushed amid shrieks of rage. Severely mutated, it can only be analysed with an observation of -2. Alright, so basically Parks empties his pulse rifle into the neomorph. The neomorph starts to scream and then buck all over the place. We also have, what do we have? We've got Reed needs to make a stamina roll, which is strength. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We just need 1 hit or he dies. So we need 1 hit or Reed dies. Okay, no, Reed also dies. So Clayton and Reed so we would have, and then we'll end it. We'll have the neomorph shrieks loudly as it's torn apart by pulse rifle fire. Parks stands up and moves forwards closer and probably ignites the flamer and then burns the corpse as well, because he would really be on the edge. So Parks, let's make him he's got a, I'm going to make him roll his stress dice. If he rolls the neomorph, he will just burn it as well. No, he doesn't. So he doesn't, he keeps contained, he burns it because it's a sensible thing to do. He doesn't panic or throw a wobbly. And he will then, we would have Crichton and Finn will come around. I don't think anyone else got injured. I think it was just the people who got killed. Crichton and Finn will come around. They will check on Reed, who is clearly dead. Clayton is clearly dead, and they will announce them to be dead. Everybody has already taken the stress from that, and we would probably have the beginning. So now they're going to need to try and get themselves together. I mean, one of the benefits is that none of the people who died actually have been allotted a job to do. Anyway, so there we go. We will, that the neomorph has died, which is our instigation to go to Act 2. Thank you very much for joining me for this quite long Alien session. Thank you very much to the subscribers. If you're not a subscriber, please do consider subscribing. Thank you very much to all the support for the members. If you've considered joining the membership, there is a join button, which may even highlight now because I'm using the words join. That is the Adventurers Guild. Thank you very much to all of you for your support. Thank you very much to everyone's support, for the coffee thank you, for the super thanks, for your words of encouragement and for your comments. Thank you very much indeed. Hope you enjoyed that. It was long, nice bit of combat, bit of weird stuff going on. We'll see what happens next in Act 2 of Chariot of the Gods.